Audio.etc is proudly supported by Auto Sound and Security. Good morning guys, how's it going? James here from Audio.etc. Finally, I don't think probably doing the final parts of the sound system on Judy, the Legacy, today. Literally all I have left to do is sound deaden the roof. So I've got 2 of my big sheets of Dynamat left from my Dynamat Mega Pack. I think they're 32 wide, I think, by 48 long or something. I can't remember exactly the lengths. But I've done everything else in the car. I just haven't done the roof yet, and that's all there really is left to do. And it's a nice day, and there's nothing on at work for me at the moment. So that's what I'm going to do. I need to get the roof lining and everything out. To obviously get all of this out, I'm gonna have to get the D, C, B, and A pillars all out, all of the handles and trims along the side, the lights. Stay in focus. The lights and the shroud cover thing for the eyesight there, and the sun visors and all of that stuff. So I'm gonna set up a time lapse with the GoPro, try and get as much of that down as I can, and then start looking at how I want to distribute out my Dynamat, because I haven't got, I don't think, a huge amount left. I managed to save some for the roof because I didn't know I was gonna be doing it, but I've got 2 relatively big sheets left. They should at least be enough to cover the roof above the all of the seats. Not sure how we'll go for in the trunk though, but we'll see. So yeah, that's what I'm doing today. Okay, there we go. I got pretty much every panel that is touching the headlining off the car. So you can see I got all the pillars off completely. Dropped down the shroud that's holding that, covers the eyesight thing. All the lights out of the middle, and I released the middle seatbelt as well. So now I'm just trying to figure out how it actually comes down. I'm hoping it's not like stuck up with any glue or double-sided tape or anything like that, because I don't really want to have to reset that, but we'll see what happens. I'm just going to try sort of pulling down on it and see if it comes down. I'm not really sure what's holding it up, eh? Okay, it looks like I have to unplug the loom that's up here. There's something over here that needs unplugging as well. Release that. Oh, there's the aerial up here. There's a lot more wiring attached to the top of the lining than I thought there was going to be. But this needs to be unplugged, which is, this here is the aerial. That unplugs from... What one unplugs? Is it this one unplugs? Like that, and then this has to come out. Okay, and then that was stuck under there. Just a few more things on the passenger side holding it up. Hopefully none of the looms on this side are holding it up. Any wiring on this side? Oh yeah, what's this? That needs unplugging. This thing goes up and down. Well, there's no way that's unplugging, that's like fixed in there. Maybe I can just unlatch it. There we go, like that. Okay, I think it's about ready to come out. I'm just going to set this down here and see if I can get it out of the boot. Okay, this time it's ready to come out. Yep. A couple of pieces of factory sound deadening that must have been on the roof but has fallen off because they were just sitting on top of the headlining. And here's another one about ready to fall down. There it is. So that is the cumulative amount of sound deadening Subaru put on your roof. Generous, eh? There we go. Bare. The only thing, unfortunately, that I had to take off the underside of the roof was the aerial, because this aerial wire was duct taped all the way along the top of the headlining, but there is, for some reason, unlike the rest of everything else, there is no connection point along the A-pillar here, and it dives down into under the dash there, and I really couldn't be bothered taking the whole glove box and everything out to find the connection point, undo it, and then unconnect it from the A-pillar here. And there's my reversing camera wire just dangling down. So yeah, actually I think it's going to be quite good because it's got a lot of these support rails all the way along, so I'm not going to have to do too much surface area because of those, so I'll be able to do the sections in between with Dynamat. And there's another piece of factory sound deadening. Is that going to come off, or is that one stuck up there pretty well? It's going to come off. There we go. That was the only piece that was really holding itself on there properly. Okay, so the next step is to start trying warming this up a wee bit if I can. I'm going to get a couple of fan heaters, face them upwards at the roof, and try and warm it up a wee bit. I'll also use the heat lamp and go from there and start applying my Dynamat. Sweet. Okay, so I've got my couple of heaters in here. Two of them warming the roof, and a spotlight there just so I can see what I'm doing a bit better. It's getting nice and warm. Only thing I need to do that I've just realised I haven't done is clean it with wax and grease remover. That shouldn't take too long now, so I'm going to do that real quick now. Just these first two sections to begin with. And I've also started cutting up the Dynamat to shape and length. So I worked out that they strips need to be 100 centimeters across. So I cut the two big pieces, and I've got 3 bits of 20 here and a piece of 30, and that bit is still uncut up, and then I've got more spare bits over there. And as I get towards the back of the car, it's going to become more and more, you know, pieces. Towards the front, it'll just be solid bits. So now I just need to wax and grease remover the roof. Okay, there we go. So this. Yep. Oh, it's actually wider at the front of the car, look at that. Okay. Getting this stuck in the middle. Be fun. Probably about there, I suppose. There's one. Okay, that's about the gist of what I'm doing here, guys. Oh, I just realized I forgot to wax and grease remover that. Oh no, I did clean that section, that's all good. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna stick it on a time lapse and finish off the roof, and I'll come back to you guys when it's done. Okay guys, there we go. Got the whole roof sound deadened, and I had a decent amount of sound deadening actually left over. It didn't end up getting too bits and piecey, if that makes sense, at the end. So what I did with all the spare stuff, I put it up on the tailgate sort of section on the boot. I know that that's like really bits and piecey looking. It's like not very pretty, but it's all the spare stuff I had, all the spare pieces lying around. So I chucked it all up there because I figured can't hurt. That would be the only surface of the car. That would be the only sort of, I guess, section of the car between me and the outside world that wouldn't have Dynamat on it. So I figured might as well do that. So now from where I sit in the driver's seat, there's pretty much a 360-degree bubble of sound deadening and I suppose glass around me. So that's why I put it there and not somewhere else. I figured it can't hurt. I had spare. That's all the sound deadening pretty much done in the car. So the roof is looking pretty decent. Turn that around so it's... So yeah. Managed to get all the way up on this back section. Just ended up being two pieces as opposed to one. You can see it joined just there. And then I also got it all the way behind the this is the rear center seat belt thing, and I just unbolted it here and here so I could take it down and then put the piece of Dynamat up under it. So yeah, going good. Next steps are pretty much just putting the car back together. Also, have a look at this. I forgot to show you when I took it apart, but I was quite interested to find out that my car's side curtain airbags start all the way down. There's my finger in the blur. That's the airbag starts sort of down there at the base, and it goes all the way up along and finishes right about there above the C-pillar. That's all one airbag. I was quite surprised. I thought it was going to be like one here and one there, but no, it's all one big thing. And there's the I guess that's the gas chamber or whatever it is that's used to inflate it, the little explosive and compressed, I don't know what they fill airbags with. I presume they just use air. They wouldn't use hydrogen or anything like that, I don't know. But anyway, yeah, on both sides, airbag all the way along. Crazy. Interesting. So yeah, now time to put the, I'll put the boot back together real quick, that takes no time. And then got to get the headlining back in. I'll get the stuff out of the car first. Might get my hands a wash, just since I'm dealing with my nice, you know, beige material thing there. And I might, before I put it back on, have a quick go at trying to clean some dirt off that thing, just like little stains here and there. Just with a tiny little bit of meth. See if I can have a go at that, but other than that, I'm gonna put it back together now. Sweet as. Nothing's fallen down yet, so that's good. Oh, and I also, with the spare bits that I had, filled in, where's one? There's one there, there's a spare piece on the side there, and then also at the very front, those two sections had a couple of you know, pieces of metal which I hadn't covered. Just there, and there. I put a couple little bits there, and then the same on that side there and there. And there as well. So yeah, managed to get the whole roof done and the tailgate with everything I had left over. So ultimately, that Dynamat Mega Pack was a perfect amount to do this whole car, taking into account the fact that I used a whole lot of Focal BAM on the front doors and some on the back doors, and also I used some other cheap sound deadener to do the rear floor of the car. But other than that, yeah, everything's good. It's worked out well. Sweet, I'll put the car back together now. Time lapse. And there we go, guys. Oh, there goes the phone. There we go, guys. The sound deadening in Duty and the Legacy is 100% complete. What can I do? I can probably so what I did, in case you haven't seen the other videos, what you saw today, I sound deadened the roof. That sounds so good. I sound deadened the roof. I've done just a small section of the hatch, as you saw, with all the spare pieces I had left over from the whole car. I've done all the doors. I did Dynamat, that stuff that I've just done today, on the inner skin, and on the outer skin I've done Focal BAM. On the front doors I did Focal BAM, I think up to about 2/3, and then the very top third was Dynamat, and the reason I did that was because along inside here there are rails that kind of separated, like structural rails that kind of separated the outer skin of the door out into like sort of thirds sort of sections. So I just decided to do BAM on the bottom 2/3 sections and Dynamat on the top 1/3 section for the front doors. Here's what the sounds so much better. And then for the back doors, same sort of thing, but as opposed to doing the bottom 2/3 with BAM, I only did the one bottom third with BAM, and then the top 2/3 with Dynamat, and then obviously the inside skin with Dynamat as well. It's sounding good. The most of this rear quarter panel has been done. I did that with, you know, just a few spare bits here and there. There's not going to be too much noise coming in from around here anyway, and there's no speaker around the area, but I did get a few token pieces in there. But what I did do was, it's gonna be hard to see, but that whole wheel well on the inside there, I did sound deaden or Dynamat that whole area. So all over this whole wheel well, both sides, under the, you know, carpety stuff there is Dynamated. As I've just said, I did the doors. I Dynamated the floor underneath the front 2 seats and the driver's and passengers floor wells all the way up to about, I'd say, sort of this level, so it scoops up. So all the wheel well is completely done with Dynamat, and that was on top of the already existing factory sound deadening. So that should be shutting out quite a decent amount of road noise. The back passengers floors, I did another layer of sort of cheap factory style sound deadening because we had it, I could have it for free, Pat said, so I had to go with that, and I just basically put another whole layer of, it was essentially what I found was that it was the same sort of quality and type of material as factory sound deadening, So now, as opposed to the back floor having only one layer, it has 2 layers of factory style sound deadening on the floor. And then also some under the rear seat as well, although it's not actually stuck down, it's kind of just sort of loosely sitting in between the floor and the seat. And I did that stuff because it was kind of like mass loaded vinyl sort of material. It's more meant to be a sound barrier than a metal deadener than anything. So that's what I did in the back. And I think that's everything. Yeah, pretty much the floor all the way along and the rear wheel arches. The doors are completely done. The roof is now completely done. A piece of the hatch, most of the what I could get to on the rear hatch is done. The only thing I haven't really sound deadened is the floor under the trunk sort of area here. Maybe I'll do that next if I've got some time. I haven't got any Dynamat left, but I have got the cheap stuff, so I could probably use that. There's probably, I'm not going to be able to show you anyway. There's probably already some sound deadening down there around where the spare tire is, but who knows, maybe I can get in there with some more of the cheap factory stuff and, you know, keep going at it, do another whole layer, take this whole floor apart and do some more in there. So yeah, Kara's 100% dead. I'll only really do any more sound deadening if I'm, you know, bored and can find the time to do it, and the only other place I can think that I would do it would probably be under this whole boot area, which to be honest probably won't be producing that much noise at the moment anyway, because it's got like a spare tire and then a piece of, you know, foam level insert, and then the floor, and then this rubber mat over top of it anyway, so I wouldn't imagine much noise is coming from there. But as I say, if I get some spare time, maybe I'll do that. And yeah, it just sounds so much better. And then we get to here, and it gets all echoey. The roof, oh, I love it. Sounds great. Sweet. Let's sit in and have a listen. Man, it's just already so much quieter in here, eh? I mean, I just remember what this car was like when I first bought it. And when I first bought it, if I had no sound deadening in here right now, I'd be able to hear the radio out there, I'd be able to hear the traffic going by. But now, it's like, very quiet. If you guys can hear my voice, that's how you know it's quiet in here. Oh, seriously good. I also sneakily changed the trim on my stereo just now. It's a bit dusty, I know. I just switched this trim here out for a new one because I wasn't really liking the style of the old one. The one I had in there was kind of similar to this sort of real rough grainy stuff here. Whereas now this one, this is like smooth and it matches this very well, I think. There's the two materials. Yeah, much more similar. So yeah, there we go guys. Done on duty for today. Another video out of the way. I will probably see you guys tomorrow. I've got a Mazda 6 Atenza to install a stereo into. Nothing huge or impressive, but it's an interesting car to do because it's got a great big fascia and fitting kit. So as long as that kit arrives and I'm able to do the job tomorrow, I will see you then. If you don't see me tomorrow, it's probably because the kit didn't arrive on time or something like that. But yeah, this does not by any means, way, shape or form conclude the work on duty. I can read out the list of things that I still plan to do to duty. That sounded wrong, didn't it? So, things I still have yet to do. Stop the stereo turning off while the car is cranking. At some point, have another crack at that little method. I need to change the fog lights to some sort of LEDs. I really want to get those illuminated door sills, which, you know, down here, light up and say Subaru or something like that. I want to do that. Chameleon headlight film, I'm not sure about that if I'll do that. I do need to fix my trailer plug power supply. Need to put a LED in the center console. Oh wait, I've done that. I just haven't wired it up because I'm going to some point soon do a new power supply for the LEDs in this car. A regulated one. Wrap dash door and door trims in cream/tan vinyl. That's these things here. It's just an idea I was toying with a while ago. I thought it might look quite cool if I wrapped these trims, which are on all the doors and the front of the dash. Thinking of wrapping them in like either a cream or tan sort of leather, or like, you know, not leather but like vinyl, like automotive vinyl. I thought it might look interesting because it would kind of match the A-pillar, you know what I mean? Like it's that transition from black to tan, and I thought it might look kind of cool and pop out and stand out a wee bit more. That's just an idea though, not necessarily going to do it. I need to put LEDs in the rear of all the door pockets. I need to put an LED under the heater so I can see my keys at night, because that area is always real dark. I need to... and I think that's everything I've got listed. But there is something else that I can add on to this that I haven't got on here. Parking sensors. I do plan on putting full front and rear parking sensors on this at some point. Even though I've already got a rear camera and a front left camera, a rear camera and a mirror camera, I want parking sensors as well. It's quite a long vehicle. I haven't had any issues yet, but you know, it's a project car. I've got to put as many different things in it as I can, don't I? And I'm in the industry, so I'm in the industry, so I've got access to the gear, and I can get it for a good price compared to what most people can. So I might as well exploit that while I'm in the industry and, you know, get as much stuff on my car as I can. And because I do plan on keeping this car for a long time. Eventually this car will become Jess's car when I can finally afford my dream GT86. Someday Jess will inherit this car and she can drive it, but I want to make it as easy for her as possible, so parking sensors surely could help with that. So yeah, that's everything that's still got to go on the Legacy. Still plenty of stuff to do. Still need to do a subwoofer box for Jess's car, and I'm going to keep filming customer jobs here as well. So this is not the end of my videos. I don't know why I felt the need to, you know, explain all of that, but for some reason I felt like I was saying this as a conclusion, but it's not. By the way, today is my 100th episode of Audio.etc Season 2. Yesterday was 99 on that Audi. Today is number 100. So 100 episodes of Audio.etc this season. Sweet. We're in October. Still got a few, you know, I'm going to go into Season 3 in the new year. Season 1, it started like only halfway through the year, so it was quite a short one, and I was sort of just getting into it, so I didn't do many videos. But I think I've done well this season. Seriously, like compared to last year, this year my channel has skyrocketed in growth, so that's great. Thank you so much, you guys. You've done awesome work. Thank you for all the likes and the shares and the comments and the subscriptions and the subscription notification bell dingers. You guys are the ones who make it possible for me to be able to do this, be able to, you know, do all this amazing stuff in my car. I will not lie, a lot of the money that you know, Google ads on YouTube and you guys have pledged to me has gone towards being able to build this system up as awesome as it is. I would not have probably been able to afford it or justify it if I was just doing this on my own. So thank you guys so much for all your support. Keep at it, choose to be happy, and I'll see you in the next one tomorrow. Kite Ano.